Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and we're going to do a video that I haven't done in a while. We're going to do an Evil's Chats, right? A little different, but I kind of mentioned this the other day that I wanted to talk about this. And I'm going to be doing more videos as it progresses and gets closer. But today we're going to be talking about the CBCA Awards here on YouTube. Before we get started, please hit that like button as you enter. Comment down below. This video is going to be 100% all about interaction, but it's going to be a little about me, and then a lot about the CBCA Awards. So now that I've got that all the way, a little about me. I'm Evil Mike, Evil's Comics. Pretty much all I do on YouTube is reviews. It's pretty much new comic book day pickups or haul pickups. I've been doing that almost now for 2 years, but I've been, on social media before that, kind of doing the same thing, just not in a video format. I was doing it on Facebook before, just posting what I picked up, and always got good feedback from people, but it was always like likes or stuff like that. But that's what got me onto YouTube. Is I've gone my whole life and I've been popular. I've had lots of friends, romantic connections. I've been married twice, but I've never really had friends, people, anybody in my life that was able to talk anything nerd with me, whether it was anime, gaming, comics, movies. Now, movies and gaming, I would say I've had I have run into some few select people that we can talk about some games and stuff like that, but when it comes to like comic book games or stuff like that, or when it gets too nerdy, now it's a whole different story, and I just haven't had that interaction. Going to comic stores, I'm kind of like that invisible guy that gets in, gets my books, and gets out. It's not to say that I'm antisocial at all. I'm not. I'm very talkative and stuff like that, but I come off as very forgettable or something like that, where most people don't even remember me being there. I shopped at a comic book in Houston for almost 25 years plus, and they never once remember my name. And if you've seen my pull list, you should remember my name. Any comic book shop would like me shopping there, kind of thing. I'm not saying I buy a whole lot, but just modern books I do. But me on YouTube, that's why I started doing reviews on YouTube, was to, one, talk about comics. I show and format the whole comic just in case you didn't pick it up or something like that, or don't have the ability or the money to pick it up. And after you've watched the review, I'm hoping with the desire that we talk about the comic, and that's the whole reason I started doing reviews in the way I do my reviews and the format I do them in. I wanted to be a complete review type of thing where I showed off the whole comic, spoilers and everything, so we could talk about that kind of stuff. And I know when I first started, I got a lot of bad heat about that, but it kind of fizzled out. But people were mad about spoilers and stuff like that, but I kind of pointed out you shouldn't be watching a review if you plan to read something. Okay, so that's me. That's why I'm on YouTube. That's why I do my reviews. I don't do it for views. I don't do it for, and that's hard to say that I don't do it for views. I do to some regard. I'm hoping that a book that I showcase, especially that I fall in love with or something like that, should get a lot of views or something like that. But it's more along the lines that I think it's a story that should be shared or something like that. I am in no form or fashion sponsored, in any form or shape tied to any of these comic book manufacturers, as far as they know that I do reviews. Now, I am known in the comic book community on a higher level because a lot of writers and comic book artists know that I do reviews. I quite often get comic book writers that either like my stuff on Instagram, or they physically watch my reviews on YouTube and leave comments that let me know that they did watch the whole thing and not just stop by for a second to say hi. Which to me is a huge achievement. It's one of the biggest achievements I've ever achieved while doing this on YouTube, was starting doing reviews, and then the writers and the artists started to give me feedback. I thought that was fantastic. Okay, so I think I've gone enough into why I'm doing this and who I am and that kind of stuff. I haven't gone too much into it. I'm 43 years old. I've been collecting comics my whole life. There have been some gaps, maybe a year or two, but I'm not one of those people that stopped in my teens. I've always been buying comics, and I will continue to do so, but there's a big reason why. I love stories and I love art. That's why I'm into games, movies, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it's really because I just love stories. And once I start a story, I can't stop. I need to finish it, even if it's a bad story. I've watched horrible movies that people would have quit the first movie, and I can't stop until, I mean, because there is always that possibility that it could get better in the end, kind of thing. Okay, so the CBCA Awards, what are they? They are like this award ceremony that was created by Brian-LCS. He did have feedback from other people in the community before he started the awards now 3 years ago. We're going in our third year. But what are they? They're just basically an awards that were given out to people originally on IG and YouTube for being, you know, best content creators or unboxers or reviewers, and they were just awards that were handed out by the single individual, but they were all nominated by, you know, fans, people in the world, in the wild. You know, that originally there was a crew of judges. I was one of the original judges the first year. And basically all we did was collect the votes. We counted the votes, and that was who won. There was no, like, you know, putting secret names in, or, you know. And how do you get nominated? A fan puts your name in. They have to physically write you in. You know, that I've been twice nominated for different things. I think the first year was Best New Channel, and second year was Best Reviewer. I did not win either year, but I was still mighty accomplished to even get nominated. And like I mentioned, how do you get nominated? Fans have to write your name in. I couldn't go in and nominate myself. You have to write yourself in. I mean, and it's ambiguous. Originally there was no way to, like, you know, track who was nominating. It was left like that, you know, so anybody could vote with the anonymity of, you know, it being, you know, the results were not, like, posted or blasted, you know, like my vote, which I did vote both years, but my vote was not, like, publicly announced or whatever. I did during the year kind of mention who I was going to vote for, and I do have favorites in some categories, and some I don't watch those categories, so I have no feedback, kind of thing. But the CBCA Awards, they originally, I mean, they're just to honor, like, you know, people that the fans fall in love with and stuff like that. And Brian's just giving the awards out. You know, there's no, none of these people have, like, sponsors or nothing like that. And originally, you know, the people that are nominating these people, they're fans of the channels, of people that watch it. Now, that doesn't mean some big channels didn't get nominated, and some of the big channels, you know, they either recognized that they even were included in this, or just chose not to, or, you know, many other, I don't know. But, you know, we had originally, like, the original, like, I guess, fans of the CBCA, because me being one of them, I tried to get the word out. You know, I had it on my IG, my Facebook, I had it on YouTube, of course, where I talked about it. But there's only, I mean, me at that time, I think I was at 150 subs, you know. I mean, I couldn't really, like, you know, my reach is only so far, you know, kind of thing. And that goes for every individual that was attached to it, you know, in the beginning. But all it is an award system based on, like, you know, a YouTuber that you think, you know, is your favorite of this. You know, if you have a favorite unboxer, you know, that's who you should nominate. And you know, I don't know what else to say about that. In that part, it's kind of simple. I don't think you have to vote on every category, because I forget these things. I'm getting old. I draw a blank. But I think you can just, you know, or maybe it's like multiple choice once the nominations get up there. But originally it's just write-in. So if you have a best reviewer, a best person that does new comic books, a best personality, there's so many categories. Last year I think there was best mustache or something like that. You know, I mean, so if you have one of those on YouTube, that should be the person you vote for. And in no regard am I sitting here saying, vote for me, vote for me. You know, I've tried to get the word out and stuff like that, and you know, I always feel you know, proud or mighty or whatever that I get, but that's not what I'm on YouTube for. I'm not on YouTube to get any awards or anything like that. I'm not even on YouTube to make money. I've never sold anything. I don't push any kind of sponsors. The only thing I do push is comics, and hoping that maybe you'll turn around and go buy a comic. But other than that, I've never really physically sold comics on Whatnot, eBay, or anything like that. I will say I've sold, like, you know, a couple, you know, more in person than any other social media platform. But you know, there's a lot of information going out about the, you know, CBCA Awards, and hopefully if you click this link and you're watching this, maybe you'll get some new information on it. It's all write-ins, the nomination. You write in who you want to vote for, you know, and hopefully other fans will, you know, nominate that same person, and that's how they make it into the first rounds of nominations. You know, once they make it into the next round of nominations, there is a second vote, and the second vote is to see out of those like 5 people that are nominated who wins out of those, you know. I mean, but it's all voted by fans and people like you that are watching this video right now. Of course, like people like me get a vote too, you know. I mean, but it's just one vote. I mean, so even if I'm Jim Mint, you know, I mean, I only have one vote. I mean, and yes, I do have a platform too, but that's if he's platforming. Comic Tom and Jim Mint, as far as I know, did not, like, you know, platform the CBCA Awards last year or the year before. You know, these fans hearing about the awards voted for them, and I don't even think they knew about it until some of us reached out to them and let them know that they were a part of it, kind of thing. I don't know. The way I see it, it's all fun camaraderie around us YouTubers and hopefully fans that are watching us at home. You know, that's the way I see it. I was up against 4 other people in my category, and I love every single one of them. Some of them I'm a lot closer to others, like, but that's like Taylor Winder. I have loved Taylor Winder ever since I met him. I do watch some of his reviews, I can say, but it's very few and far between, and same goes for Taylor. You know, I mean, but I still love that individual. That just because I'm up against, you know, 4 other great channels doesn't mean I'm all of a sudden gonna start hating these other. No, you know, F those guys. You know, I do better reviews, and you know, no, I watch reviews myself, and I appreciate reviews because there are comics sometimes that are ambiguous and left up to imagination. So it is good to get feedback sometimes when I'm left in the dark, kind of thing. I don't know, but these are my thoughts. This is my evil chat. You know, let me know down below if there's anything you're unclear of. You know, I know there's a lot of people that, for one, have not heard about the CBCA Awards and what they are and what they mean to us comic book community YouTubers, kind of thing. So if you have any questions, you know, reach out to me on down here in the comments, or, you know, on my IG, and my IG is the same as my YouTube. It's Evil's Comics. You know, if you're not already, you know, following me on IG, that's a easier way to reach out, a more personal way to reach out. But I interact on my comments on YouTube, IG, Facebook, wherever you want to hit me up. You know, I interact with all that, and I eat it up. But that's what I got for you. That please go to CBCA awards.org, CBCA on Instagram. All that information will be down below. And that's all I got for you. Go Brian-LCS for making this wonderful thing. Brian, all I can say about Brian, because a lot of people have this like misconception that he is this mega mind, evil mastermind that's just doing it for popularity. Brian was doing it for content reasons, I can say, is probably number 1. 2, just a general nice idea. Brian is one of the best people in our community. He's nice. All he does is new comic book days showing off. He does some reviews, and he does mail calls and unboxings. That's about it. He's not pushing any platforms. Yes, he does sell, you know, t-shirts for the CBCA Awards, but guess what? That goes into the awards. It doesn't even go into his pocket. He mentions that quite a bit when he talks about the CBCA Awards. Most of us YouTubers nowadays, like on the lower end that sell merchandise on our channels, it usually goes to either a donation fund like C2E2, like I think that's what it's called, Comics Curing Cancer, Don't quote me on this, I'm bad with names. But they usually go to donations and fundraisers and stuff like that. Very few of these comic book communities that YouTubers that I know of that are making money off the merch that they're selling on their channels. It's usually going to, a fundraiser. It's going back into their, I don't know. But hey guys, that's what I got for you. I'll let you go. Keep it kind of short and minimal short. I don't know. But that's my Eagles chat. Please comment down below if you got any questions or any comments down below what you think about the awards. I know some people don't like them regardless just because they are awards. Alright guys.